Hey guys, I am here to get into Days of Heaven, which was directed by Terrence Malick and released in the year 1978. And this really holds up, my God, for the cinematography alone. It's just literally Matthew Malick conveys some of the most beautiful outdoor shots I've ever seen in this project. It's so aesthetically as beautiful as it gets. And the directing just downright seems influential towards P.T. Anderson's perspective in There Will Be Blood. It's just the lighting and color schemes in this are just completely beautiful. These shots are just so active and it's just so full of life and emotion. It's a bit of a detached characters kind of study. It's just like kind of observing this just odd love triangle observed, but it's just kind of about how the nature and the emotion of the world building kind of outdominates all of that. And that's Malick's perspective that he always kind of ultimately seems to have. It's like a very spiritual perspective on Americana life. And it's very powerful here. I mean, this film has a lot of suspense, a lot of intimidating moments, a lot of moments that are confusing, even frustrating. And there's not a lot of dialogue. I mean, the screenplay is quite minimal, but it does convey a lot within its short time span. But it's really the directing and the cinematography that drives this whole project. It's got a strong visual narrative, and this cinematography is just off the charts. I mean, especially just the way this is all paced down. I mean, it's just sweeping from start to finish. I mean, it's like it conveys like a bit of like an isolating sort of place to be in humanity, but it also kind of shows how like people can be destroyed by forces greater than them, and then it kind of shows how going through all the full range of human experience and knowing all these different emotions kind of ends up making a bit of like a knowing of heaven and hell and earth a little bit more clear. And I think when characters find that, I don't know, it's just kind of something that you just see that you're in a balance between angel and devil, and the film just kind of masterfully conveys the knowledge that nobody's really perfect. And it's just kind of like being indefinitely unknowing passengers for this just ride without knowing of an end. I mean, it's just this film is just mesmerizing in its wonder. I mean, there's a real sense of looming tragedy living in it's like the story itself. It's just it feels beautiful about always the way it's depicted. At the time, it's just Ennio Morricone soundtrack. I mean, it's just kind of feels like it is a perfectly like just whimsical perspective, just because of how beautiful, simply how beautiful the directing is. It's a dream, a little bit surreal. But it's one of those films too. I think like watching this in repeated viewings has really been necessary for this project. I think the first time I was a little confused by it because it's just such a visually directed film, and it's like it even seems a little influenced by stuff like like Andre Federico Fellini, a lot of Andre Tarkovsky as well. I would say it's kind of a based on Americana depiction. It's quite a different project from Badlands. I mean, Badlands is like a straight up crime depiction. I remember it reminds me more of like the Coen Brothers, probably the most down to earth thing Malick ever made. This by contrast is just beautiful. I mean, it really almost feels like Malick was evolving into this wholly interesting, unique perspective that he would lay low for 2 decades after making this for Thin Red Line in the late '90s. But this is just as perfect as it gets right here. I mean, I just absolutely love the way that this whole film just plays out. I mean, Malick just has this really cool perspective, and it's a masterpiece from start to finish. This just goes strongly recommended for its originality.